Hi guys, it's Patrick again with the Normies. I'm here to introduce your next topic. It will be redefining a sustainable pace. Your speaker will be Noelle Webster-Milam. She is a director of UX for SCP who is sponsoring this wonderful event, but has also letting us use this amazing space to do this event for you guys also as well. So let's bring it together for Noelle, everybody.
Hi, y'all. So today I'm going to be talking about rethinking a sustainable pace. That was just like in the pandemic. We all have stories about what happened. I'm going to take you through ours and maybe it's sort of like a call to action for all of us where we can kind of center around something going forward. So just real quickly, I'm the director of UX at SEP. You can find me on Twitter at nnwebs. By the way, SEP is a digital software design and development company. We make great software impacting folks' lives. So, okay, what we're going to go through today, like SEP's experience, shifts in the thinking that we had, and then a new way that we all need to show up going forward. Okay, so let's go back in time to March 2020. As painful as it is, let's think about that for a second. We all have our story. This is SEP's. So we got a very long email from our executive leadership starting out with like, we're preparing, it's time to do this. We need, like, things are kind of trending in the direction that we all need to go shelter in place. And quickly, everything sort of emerged. Our executive team was amazing. They had everything figured out. Our IT team deserves medals for the way that they got us all working from home, and every single employee moved their workspace home like in a week. It was pretty amazing. But it felt a bit of like, go, 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 go. It's like, no one said that to us, but we were all like in this like hustle state, and we set up our machines and workspaces. Some of us learned that like we didn't really have a comfortable place to work at home. So that was a thing. We started working together over Zoom, and it was like, how do we whiteboard? Oh, well, how do we pair or mob on something? And then team celebrations, celebrating something, like it just felt so empty. We quickly felt disconnected, and things were like, they just didn't feel great. And so like, think back to like that first time you were ending video chats on Zoom with folks, and you pressed end and you were by yourself. It was just like this feeling of yuck, unsure, alone, lost. And in a company that shows up like family, we were missing some crucial parts of our support systems. So that pace that we were going at was introducing anxiety like crazy. We had to shift our thinking. Like what worked before just doesn't work now. So all these new challenges emerged in work from home. They were unforeseen things. I mean, we sort of knew they were coming, but we were feeling them in real time. And I like legit saw it break some of us. We had to acknowledge some hard truths and like really slow down. People needed different things to be productive. And sometimes that meant like walking away from your computer and just saying, I need to go take a walk. Like I'm just overwhelmed. Sometimes like we had to talk about our kids because that was a thing that was drawing us away and making us feel conflicted about where we spent our time. Sometimes it was conversations with tears and virtual hugs, admitting that we were feeling lost and where comfort zones were being redefined daily. And sometimes it was joking about cleaning our groceries that just arrived or something similar. We were all in this common space together getting through. So everything sort of like merged into this one thing, and nothing could be as it once was. And we were kind of grieving our former lives. The pace kind of went like this. Go, go, go. I just can't, and I can't do this. So people burned out at different rates, some in just a few days. We had to look at what really mattered to us as an organization at the most basic levels. We started to redefine what pace looked like in work from home. We had to reassess priorities, how it was affecting us, what was done enough versus perfect. We had to choose the right work, not all the work. And we had to ask people to be vulnerable and say the hard things like, I need help, y'all. Like maybe like even emotionally, I need help. Personally, I was trying to go at the pace that I was doing at the office, and my whole desk was covered in Post-its. There was nothing getting done because I was in meetings all day long. I had to stop deriving self-worth and value from the work and change my meetings in Zoom to be doing the work, not talking about the work. So I don't know how many conversations I had with folks in the pandemic, like if you are not okay, everything will break in your ecosystem. And that's not just about work, it's everything is merging into one. So like you've got to care for you. In this merged world, we have to do whatever we need to do to keep our cup full. If you don't own this phase of life is going to own you. And SCP cares about you and like go at a pace that just makes sense for you. So our old methods worked. We stood strong. We amped them up a little bit and adapted. We did our team bonding. We did coaching and mentoring, and we asked people to share out their learning processes at the pace that fit them. And if it didn't, don't do it. But what we learned is what ultimately matters is connection, community, and the ability to be our true selves at home without judgment. We found ways to welcome our kids and our pets and our spouses into everyday interactions. Before long, we started creating Slack channels with funny stories and all those face palm kind of moments. We asked for help in new ways, sharing more of our lives than we ever had. I don't know how many times I personally had to step out of meetings because my son was number one. So we evened out, our pace slowed a bit, we adapted, we calmed down a bit, and we made being human table stakes. And we built silly new ways to connect. So this is Zach Darnell. We created this little radio show of bantering silly topics and trying to bring back the feeling of water cooler talk back at the office. And so we talked about fun things, but we also talked about hard things like goals and grit and being alone over the holidays. And we opened up our lives. So this is Zach's family at Thanksgiving and mine at Thanksgiving. And you can see my son was so excited to put on his Christmas pajamas that like he was constantly moving. I couldn't get a picture that wasn't blurry. And then we kind of just reshaped what pace meant, what it meant to be normal and slow down. And we gave grace to be who you needed to be and whatever fit your comfort level. And we rallied new ways to care for people. We learned a lot as a company. I learned a heck of a lot about myself being a high D in the disc. I like to drive to results, and I had to figure out new ways to feel fulfilled. But one thing that happened was empathy ran strong. So here's my ask to everyone. I don't believe we're going to return back to what was, or a new normal, or the next new normal. I believe that we're being presented with an opportunity to impact pace and community in a way that we've never had an opportunity before. We're being given a challenge to impact the work we do and the humanity for generations to come around this work. We're setting new standards. So when we return, remember what we learned back in 2020 and what you're still continuing to learn right now. For a lot of us returning to the offices, we're like, think about it, right now we're all in an equal state. But soon we'll be in a foot race. Some of us are vaccinated, some of us are not. Some of us will never choose to be. How we sustain and present and care and create community here will matter a lot. There could be a feeling of imbalance, inequality. And I just hope that you all remember that the most important things are community, support, deep empathy, and common missions, connection, belonging and inclusion and humanity, and acceptance of your whole self. Go at your pace, know who you are, make space for others to be who they are without judgment, and own it and just model it for other people. So I'm asking, think about this. How will you show up in this next phase as we return to whatever is going to be this next thing? We have an opportunity to craft it. We have an opportunity to impact it. Let's remember that our value is not determined by outputs and outcomes. It is who you are as a person in the space that you make for other people to be themselves. So in this new marathon we're about to go run, I cannot wait to see what we all build together. So that's all I got, y'all. I am not going to do questions here, but I will be over in the SCP networking space. So if you'd like to chat more, come on over and we can talk a bit more in depth. If you have questions or if you just want to chat, I'm cool with that too. And also we're hiring lots of designers. So if you'd like to talk about that too, let's have that conversation.